Hi, hello YouTube. I've just been sorting out my supplements. So the last three videos I made have been about supplements. And I've just been thinking and thought, this is a little video. I haven't really planned it. I haven't rehearsed it, and don't question like what I'm gonna say, because I haven't rehearsed and I haven't like read the books to see is my information up to date. This is just straight off the top of my head. Um, it's a really popular question that I keep getting asked again and again and again, and I think it's so simple. I don't know why the same people are asking me the same questions, and then a few months later, I see them doing the wrong thing anyway. So I just want to touch on this subject, because I think it's a really good subject. Like it works. What I'm going to talk about is creatine. Right. So just now I've been emptying my creatine from the sachet bag you get with a zipper on the top into a tub. So it's easier just to get in a tub. You can get your hand in easier. You've got a spoon at the top and you can measure it out. Okay, so the tub I use is a different make. It's an old tub, cleaned out, and but it's still got the label on the back with their recommended suggestions dosage. And then I got the new sachet with their recommended dosage. So there's a couple of things I want to talk about. Another one I'm going to talk about is the way I think big companies con you big time. And I'm not going to mention any names, any brands, because they're more popular than me. And if they see my video of me slagging them off, they're going to come back at me and go, you said this, I'm wrong. Because they got more followers, everyone's going to believe them and make me look a dick and then go, oh, Steve, you're wrong. What the hell do you know? This is scientific fact, but they're going to use evidence wherever they got it from. They can find their own evidence because they're trying to sell their product, aren't they? I'm not selling the product, so I haven't got a legal team. I haven't got a scientific team. I'm just using books which I've used in university, which isn't that where the scientific legal team get their information from? Probably. I'm also using this from information that I've been using. I've been using the products for years. I first had this product, creatine, when I was 16, so 18 years ago. There's people that are advertising this product who are 10 years younger than me. Well, I was having this product then when they were a lot younger than me. They were little kids. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I don't sell it. But this is just touching on the subject, basic knowledge of what to do, what to buy, how to take it, and what it does. Because I get the same questions over and over again for years and years, and it's usually every January after Christmas, people are getting products for Christmas, or they want to get back into shape and what do I take and how do I take it? So creatine, right? What is it and what does it do? So creatine is made in the body naturally. You usually have it made when you eat meat. It comes from meat. So if you're a vegetarian, well, then you probably need to have a little bit more in the diet with a supplement. That's why it's called a supplement, because it supplements your diet. It adds a little bit extra than the bit you're not having because you're not eating meat. Okay, so your body does make it in the body. It needs creatine to make energy. So it's not the creatine which is the energy. It uses it to make energy. ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So it actually uses, I'm going into too much detail here, a phosphate molecule, but it needs 3 to make energy. Creatine, it's not called creatine, it's called creatine phosphate. So you're using the phosphate molecule to make the triphosphate again. Then it goes to adenosine diphosphate and back to triphosphate. Blah, blah. It's too much information, but it needs it to make energy, okay? If you're a long-distance endurance athlete, running marathons, you won't need creatine in the body because you can use the aerobic energy system, which mainly uses fat with a bit of carbs and oxygen. That's why it's aerobic. If you're doing shorter distances, like 5 miles, 3 miles, 800 meters, playing football, you're normally going to use the glycolytic energy system with glycogen. It's not aerobic because you're having short little breaks. It's not a long distance thing. It's glycolytic, mainly using glycogen. If you're doing anything less than that, 100-meter sprint, maybe in football, if you're doing short changes, in the gym, doing 10 reps for 10 seconds, then you're normally going to use the creatine energy system. So you need to have extra creatine in your diet to replenish the creatine faster so you can still work harder. So what it's doing is, if you eat a bit more creatine, or not eat it, if you drink a bit more creatine than what you'd have if you're not having it in your diet, well then you could probably train maybe 10% more than what you would have done if you didn't have it. Okay, so 10% every day, it adds up. So you're going to get a bit stronger because you maybe do 1 rep today. Tomorrow you can do 1 rep and 1 rep. So it doesn't actually make you stronger. It just gives you a bit more energy so you can do an extra rep, an extra set, an extra sprint, one more. And these one mores add up to a bit extra. People say, yeah, all it does, it adds water to your diet, so your body. So you're not putting on muscle, you're just water. Think about it. What is the body made of? 60, 70% water. So if you add water to the body, yeah, it is water, but apart from the bones, the whole body is made up of water. You will sometimes get a bit puffier, like a watery muscle, but you're stronger. So you can lift more. So as long as your diet is sorted, then your strength will then make you make more muscle. So you'll have a bit of water on the outside, but your muscles will grow bigger. Plus also that water in the muscle will stop aches and pains. So you'll be able to lift stronger, like a lubricant on your muscles, a lubricant on your joints. So being bigger is actually better to do weight training. The water is like, everyone knows drinking water is good for you anyway. So if you're absorbing more water, what's so bad about that? It also makes you can recover a little bit quicker. That extra water in the muscles, because imagine like your muscle like a balloon. When you have a party balloon and ones of the clowns have the long ones and they make shapes, make a little dog. Well, if you try blowing them up without a pump, it's pretty hard. Any balloon's pretty hard, so people like stretch it, you blow a little bit and you stretch it. Think about that like your muscle. So if you stretch it and pump it full of water, and then it's easier for it to grow by itself then. So if you stretch the outside skin and stretch all the everything inside the muscle, but then the muscle inside can grow extra. So when people get a pump, they go to the gym, they pump up. The next day it is deflated and you feel a bit flat and you feel a bit soft, but that gives you a chance to grow. As long as you have your protein the next day and you recover properly, then it will grow. So that's what it is, that's what it does. But how do you take it? Okay, it comes normally a plain white powder, creatine monohydrate. That's what it's called. It's just called creatine monohydrate, plain. You can buy it with a flavour. So some brands will have it with apple, orange, blackcurrant, any flavour in the world. That's okay, because some people like to have it with a bit of flavour. Sometimes they add extra ingredients into it as well, so you might have a bit of caffeine in it to give you a bit of a boost, a bit of a buzz. There might be other ingredients included in the drink as well, taurine, beta-alanine. But then if you're doing that and you're mixing it together, it's more like a pre-workout mixture. But just say now you want just creatine, well, really buying it in a plain white powder is better, because if you have a 10-gram scoop, a 5-gram scoop, you know it's 5 grams in your drink. If you have a 30-gram scoop of a mixture, it says on the tub it contains creatine, but a lot of it will be colours, flavours, sweeteners, sugars, dextrose, basically cheaper crap than the creatine, so they can sell you a big massive tub and make more money. That's what they're doing. So just for example, just say creatine costs £1 for a scoop, but dextrose costs 50p per scoop. Well, if they put extra dextrose in the creatine, they can cut it and make it cheaper them to make, but they'll still charge you the full whack. And because it's got colours and flavours and it tastes amazing, because they found out some ingredient which makes you think it's nice, they're going to sell it for more. Just like a drug dealer will cut in crap into their drugs, just they can sell you a bigger amount, more profit margin. That brings me on to that con I said about. You can't make creatine any purer than pure creatine. It's pure, isn't it? So if you're having 5 grams of pure creatine, it is 5 grams pure creatine. So if someone tries to sell you a scoop which says what's the word they use? We've simplified the ingredients and we're now giving you a micro scoop of 2 grams. But it's the same. It's the same ingredients as 5 grams. It can't be. 5 grams of creatine is 5 grams of creatine. You can't make 5 grams into 2.5. So, when you see some of these pre-workout drinks, and it says it's got creatine, it's got caffeine, it's got taurine, it's got beta-alanine, and it's got sugar and dextrose and flavourings. Plus it might have green tea, it might have monkey wee, I don't know, I have loads of other stuff. It might say in the back of the ingredients, so it's just a 30 gram scoop. If you then get a calculator, write down all the ingredients, how much, find out individually how much of the ingredient should be. So say a daily dosage of creatine might be, say, 3 grams, taurine might be 3 grams, beta-alanine 10. You're up to 16 already. That's half the scoop. And then you've got 10 of this and 10 of that. And then all of a sudden they make that into 30 grams. Well, I work out my calculation should be 70. So they've squeezed it in, and you're thinking you have a big scoop. Wow, it's good, it's a big scoop. Normally, you have it, you'll take it, and you're buzzing. You go to the gym, I was buzzing, and I'm sweating. But what they've done is they whacked in loads of caffeine, because with caffeine, all you need, you don't measure it in grams, you measure it in micrograms, so a tiny bit. If they put a little bit extra into that, you're buzzing, but the actual other ingredients are just probably flavourings and colourings, and not a lot of the other ingredient. So make sure you're having the recommended ingredient amount individually. You probably won't be able to get it in a mixture. So you probably are better off having it individually. And I can prove I'm right this way because there was actually a company which sold a mixture drink of, for example, 3 different things. And then they also sold the 3 different things individually. You read in the comments, and someone actually asked a question saying, well, if you sell them individually and you sell them as a bundle together, why would I want to have it either way? So their answer was, if you're mid-season and you're a big bloke and you're training hard and your training's heavy and you're training, you're flat out, you do need them individually, because you do need 10 grams of this, 10 grams of that, and 10 grams of that. 30 grams. You do need it in a big bulk. You do need it. So you buy in a tub of 2.5 kilograms each. You will need 2.5 kilograms each, and it won't last you very long that way. If you are a smaller athlete, if you're not training so hard, if you're on off season, so maybe training only 3 times a week, you don't need them amounts so much, but you do need just a little bit just to tick you over. Then a small amount would be okay. So that's why then they can get away with having a small amount altogether, because it's more simple. If you're on holiday, you don't want to take 3 big tubs with you. If you're going away for a week or 5 days, you can take 1 tub, which will do to get you through the week. But if you're training heavy, hard, you do need the 3 individuals. So just like I'm saying now, if you're training as hard, if you're training as heavy, if you're training and you're a big bloke, you will need the individual creatine amount, the caffeine amount, the taurine amount, and you won't be able to get that from a blended scoop, unless you have a massive big scoop, and they won't last you very long. So what I do is I buy my creatine, I buy it in pure creatine, a plain white powder. It's tasteless, it's colourless, I think if you drink it with water, you will taste it a tiny bit. I can't really explain to you what it tastes of. It just doesn't taste like water. It just doesn't taste quite nice. But if you add in your blackcurrant or your orange juice, lemon, whatever you like, it tastes lovely. It tastes just like orange. You can add it into your orange squash or orange juice. I probably wouldn't add it into milk or coffee, but you probably could. You can tip it into your protein. Maybe a creatine in your protein, but I won't go into other ingredients. There's other things which do taste nasty. BCAAs, that's always horrible. Always. Glutamine, that is always horrible. I don't care what anyone says. You take pure BCAA or pure glutamine. You can try put it in glucose. You can try put it in dextrose. You can try put it in blackcurrant or orange. You can try watering it down with a pint, and then you just got a pint of crap to drink. You can try strengthening it and having a little shot glass, and it is just nasty. Both of them, they're definitely. So don't put them in your protein, because you'll just ruin a big, nice scoop of protein. The best thing to do for them is just have a capsule, neck them straight away. Your creatine, though, is pretty tasteless. You can have that with your juice. So the amount. How do you take it, right? So you can bought this powder. You got on my advice. You bought the cheapest white powder possible. They're all the same. Any 5 brands, if they say my brand's better than their brand, rubbish. Pure creatine is pure creatine. How is their pure creatine purer than other pure creatine? If it's 100% pure creatine monohydrate, they're all the same, right? So find the cheapest brand. I'm not mentioning any names, but if you look at my last video, you can see what I buy. It's the cheapest brand. It works. It's how I've described. So you got the powder. How much to take? So you've got different companies who tell you different amounts, but they are telling you extra so they can sell extra. Okay, because if you have 10 grams instead of 5, they're doubling up. You can use it quicker. You won't get this any extra benefit, but you will drink it quicker and then have to buy more quicker. You'll think you've improved because you probably have. So you think if I have another scoop, I'll improve even more, but you won't. There's only a certain amount which you can improve. So only take the amount I'm going to say now in a minute. They'll say to have more. They'll say to snort it and chuck it in your mouth. Oh, no water. Because they want you to have more. They're selling it. I'm not. Okay, so years ago, when I first started taking it, back in the day, I was 16. I bought some cheaper stuff from a different shop. It was flavoured. It wasn't that nice. There used to be a rumour years ago, because in 2000 this was, in the 90s when it first became popular, people didn't really know what it was. When I first started telling people what it was, they go, "No, is that legal? Doesn't it just add water to your muscles? And isn't it bad for your liver and kidneys?" Well, I know for a fact, I've been taking it now for 18 odd years, on and off. I've had health checks, and no worries at all. Not saying you don't sue me because I've said this, but don't worry about creatine. It is legal. You can take it. As far as I know, check up to dates. As far as I know, it's not on the banned list from athletes. Do check though the ingredient you're taking with the supplement company you're taking it from, because they might have something banned on the list. So just do your research. Don't sue me because I'm not saying you can have it. It's legal, it's fine, it's not a health risk. As long as you got no health risks already, like a bad heart or bad liver and kidneys, as long as you're healthy, it is healthy, it's okay. So you've got this white powder. There used to be a way they should say was a loading phase and then a maintenance phase. Okay, so what they'd say is loading phase, you have a 5 gram scoop, tip it into your water, drink it 4 times a day. So 5, 10, 15, 20 grams every day. So what this does is you have the 4 scoops in a day and 20 grams of it, whack, it gets a big amount into your body quite quick. So it gets in there fast, you're in there, it's loaded the body, loading phase. This is just for 5 days. Actually, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 grams. What's my maths? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I've just done some notes back here. My maths is a little bit off. Yeah, so 5 grams, 4 times a day, 5 days. That's your loading phase. So now it's in your body. After that, you can't get any more in the body once it's like at its peak level. So it goes, you start off with nothing, it goes up and up and up. Now it's the most. You can't get any more in. Like a sponge, it won't get any more in. But you want to keep it there. So you exercise, you go down a bit. So you want to keep it there. So all you have to do now is have 5 grams. On this tub I'm using now, it says on the back of it to have 5 grams twice a day. So you go down a bit, up a bit, down a bit. It might go up a little bit if you have a bit of steak one day and you don't train. It'll stay roughly there. But only take it for 8 weeks. After 8 weeks, either your body get used to it, or it might not be healthy to have it for longer than 8 weeks. Just give you a chance for your kidneys and your liver, to flush out any toxins or any badness, or your body not getting used to it, your receptors. So it's good to have, that loading phase. You gain some good strength, but then after 8 weeks of training and training, it'll die off. You're not going to get the same gains forever. So you have a week, probably a week, maybe 2 weeks. A lot of things they say to have the same amount of time off as on. So you could have 8 weeks. That's a bit long time, really, 8 weeks off. But then you do another load straight away and up again, and 8 weeks. So I don't know maths here a little bit. It's a little bit off though, because I think I worked my loading phase out for 4 days, not 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 5 grams, 25, 50, 70, 100, 125. So 125 grams you're going to have in the first 5 days. After that, you're then going to go to 5 grams a day twice, so 10 grams for the next 2 days for that week, so 10, 20. And then the next 7 weeks, so it was the first week's loading, next 7 weeks up to your 8 weeks, you're having 5 grams a day twice, so 10 grams, 70 grams a week. 70 grams times by 7 weeks, when we're looking at 8 weeks, you're looking at about 600 grams altogether. So if you buy 500 gram sachet, 500 gram bag sachet tub, it's not even going to last you the 8 week suggested course to have it for. So if you were to go for this expensive company, which some creatine companies, they're charging 30, 40, 50 quid, that's only going to last you 2 months. And half of it is actually, you think you're having a big massive scoop, half of it is actually dextrose and colours and flavours. For my university research, and the way I've done it for ages, is instead of doing the loading phase and then the maintenance phase after, if you just take 3 grams a day, once a day, so 3 grams once, it won't have the big spike of loads in the week. It will just gradually get in there. But like a sponge, the sponge can only absorb so much so fast anyway. So once it's in there, keep it in there and just take it all the time. So 3 grams a day, 7 days, is 21 grams a week. 21 grams times 8 weeks. They said to have 600 odd grams. Mine works out as 168 grams. A lot less. So you buy 500 gram tub, that'll last you 2 and a bit cycles of 8 weeks. A lot longer. And it'll still work. It's so cheap that way, especially if you buy it from the website which I buy it from. It's about 5 quid, not 30 quid. Plus it's going to last you 16, 20 odd weeks. You can afford to just put 5 grams in, because most scoops are like 5 gram scoops. You haven't got to weigh it out. Oh, no, that's 3 grams. Just chuck it in. 3 grams, 4 grams, 5 grams, 6 grams. It's still going to last you a lot longer. And that's the amount which works. It will work. 5 grams a day, 3 grams a day, 4 grams a day, it will work. But you don't need to do the loading phase, and you don't need to drink it twice a day. Once it's in your body, it'll be in your body. Because like I said, your body makes it anyway, a little bit. So you only need to supplement it a little bit. Does it work? Okay, so here's the thing. It doesn't work for everybody. Fact. It does not work for everybody. The best way to see if it works for you, without doing scientific tests and blood tests and urine tests and in the scientist laboratory, in the first week, especially if you're doing the loading phase, in the first week, if you put on weight quick, then it's working. It will not be muscle. It will not be muscle. And in a week, in 5 days, 7 days, you will not put on a lot of muscle, especially if you've been training for the gym anyway for a while. You might possibly put on half a pound if your diet's spot on, if your training's good, if your protein's good, your rest is good, your lifting good. On some weeks, you might put on a pound if you're a beginner, if you are skinny and you add in muscle quite quick. If you've been training for ages, you're not going to. But by taking creatine, in the first week or 2 weeks, you might put on a kilogram, which is like, whoa, I put on 2 pounds. How's that? It's amazing. Creatine's amazing. No, this is the water which they said you put on, because you will hold a bit of water in your body. And water is heavy. It weighs a lot of weight, doesn't it? So 1 kilogram of body weight, you probably added a litre of water to your body. And you will. You'll see it. You'll be a little bit bigger. Whoa, I got bigger. No, it is water. Like I said before, it's not such a bad thing. It'll help you train more. You will be a bit bigger. The only bad thing is if you're a female who doesn't really want to put size on, if it's not being horrible, but if it's a time in the month, you might hold water anyway. So you might, go a bit puffier in the face. Your hands might swell up, your feet might swell up. If you're dieting down for a bodybuilding competition or a boxing competition, there needs to be in a certain weight category, well then that could be quite a bad thing, because if you need to reach 85 kilogram, well, this could put on a kilogram. So think about it. You might not want to take this when you're leading up to a weighted competition. That could affect you. But that's a way of knowing if it's worked or not. If it is working for you, you will put a bit of weight on quite quick. If you don't put the weight on in the first 2 weeks, and I mean a significant amount of weight, you could definitely say I put on 2 kilograms fast. Or I'm definitely waterier fast. I would say probably it's not for you. Whether you spent the £5 like I said or the £30 like they said, I cut that out. Don't bother. It doesn't matter if you have 5 grams, 10 grams, 20 grams, 50 grams. More will not make it work more. It just will not work for you. So save your pennies. Either buy more protein, a new pair of gym gloves, or just save your money. Go to the cinema, relax. Don't buy it on creatine, because creatine will not work for you. All you'll do is you'll either make yourself have expensive wee or expensive poo. Sorry. But you will not get more muscles, you won't get stronger, you won't get bigger. Does it work for males and does it work for females? Without going into too much detail about the biology of males and females, a body is a body. So obviously there's a few things which men have got and women have got that are different, but a muscle is a muscle, a bone is a bone, blood is blood. We all eat the same food. Without being sexist, everyone's the same. Everybody wants to be the same these days, and we are. Yeah, you will train differently, you will grow a bit differently, and you'll have fat stores in different areas of the body, but creatine will work just the same for a woman as for a man. You take it the same, still 3 grams a day. Loading phase if you want to do loading phase, maintenance phase if you want to go that way. But it will work the same for men and women. Do women take it? Yes, of course they do. It does make them faster for the reflexes if they're doing football, short, sharp turns. It'll make them train heavier. Like I said, the extra rep, extra set, they can recover a bit quicker. It's just that women do hold a bit higher percentage body fat. Women do hold a bit more water anyway. One time in the month they are a bit waterier, so would they want to have the extra water? Maybe not, it's up to you. If it's winter and you're wearing clothes, does it really matter? The benefit, the strength and the extra gains is worth any water weight in my opinion. It is reversible, so as soon as you stop taking the creatine and then you just wee and it'll come out. So if you don't like it, just stop taking it and you'll just lose the water anyway. Because it's water retention, not muscle bulk. So the water will just get flushed out and be fine. Possibly, if you haven't had a kidney check and you have got bad kidneys, possibly it might not be good for you. Liver, if you've got bad liver, possibly it might not be good for you. Basically, if you're going to drink something, it's going to go through the liver and kidneys. If your body doesn't like it, that's where it's going to probably make you suffer. Heart, if you've got a bad heart, well, you probably won't be training heavy anyway and exercising hard. So really, if you're not going to be training heavy, why would you be taking it? If you've got a bad heart and you've been told you've had heart problems, why are you even thinking about taking creatine and training heavier and harder? Just look after yourself. Keep to a good diet, train normal, light and gentle. Obviously, that's good. But do you want something to make your trainer harder than what you could possibly do yourself? Probably not. If I have a look, I've been talking now for 32 minutes. I can't really say anything more about creatine because I have it all the time. I haven't got a product to show you and sell. I'm not selling it. Now's the chance where people will go, and here it is. You could buy this. Christmas sale, buy 3, get 1 free. And I'll chuck in a free shaker. Because they only cost 50p to make anyway. My phone's ringing, but you can have a free Sharpie. Press like and share on this video and I'll send you a free Sharpie. No, I won't. No, my luck, I'll probably get 4,000 views on this video and I'll send out 4,000 Sharpies. Not a chance. No way. Right, so if you watch this video to the 33 mark, thanks a lot. Honestly, I don't expect people to watch my video creatine for 33 minutes. I don't even expect many people to watch this video at all, because when they see on YouTube it says 33 minutes long about creatine, what the hell is Steve talking about for 33 minutes? So I'm going to cut it short and I cut it there. Thanks for watching. As I said at the start, this video was just off the top of my head, what I know about creatine. I haven't looked at the current research. Don't go commenting in the bottom saying, Steve, you're full of crap, because, well, you can do, but if you're going to do that, just don't bother, because I can't be bothered to argue. As I've said, I'm not selling this stuff, so that's why I haven't bothered doing the research. I'm just doing this to help people for free, because I like helping people. People ask me questions all the time, and it's easier for me to make a little video and then explain it 1,000 times in January. I don't mind in January. I don't mind it. I'm doing this video for free as well. But that's why I'm doing it. So please don't argue and say you're wrong, you're full of crap, you don't know what you're talking about. What do you know? I think I do know a little bit. I'm not an expert, but I think I do know a little bit. But it's good. Take it. Try it. If you want to know any more, if you want to know anything more about creatine or anything else, the other supplements from my last video, training things. I know I haven't trained for a while, but any questions, send me a video. No, whatever. Yeah, send me a video. No, send me a question. Okay, 35, bye.